Alrighty everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Matt and I'm the host of Shall I Stream It, and today I'm going to be reviewing the very funny show Reboot. Reboot is a new comedy series on Hulu from the co-creator of Modern Family, Steven Levitan. The first 3 episodes dropped on Hulu this week, and subsequent episodes are going to debut weekly after that. And I was able to go ahead and review the entire first season in advance, so thank you Hulu. Now, one thing I'll say about this show is I am so glad I watched the entire season, and I had an excuse to do it because I knew I was going to make this review, because I do feel like it does take a few episodes to really get its wheels in motion, but by the time you get to that 3rd episode, it is laugh out loud funny. And I think it is one of the best comedies since 30 Rock. Now, that comparison I'm making to 30 Rock has a lot to do with the premise of the show. It does take place behind the scenes of a sitcom, and there's a lot of meta humor about the television industry in it. So if you're someone that's really into TV, which if you're watching this YouTube channel, I assume you are, there is a lot of satirical humor in it. Reboot follows a character named Hannah, played by crazy ex-girlfriend's Rachel Bloom, who has the idea to reboot this early 2000s sitcom. Remember what I said about the meta humor? It's a show on Hulu about a show on Hulu. The fictional sitcom that she wants to reboot, called Step Right Up, was this kind of cheesy, feel-good series about a couple played by Keegan-Michael Key and Judy Greer who live with the wife's ex-husband, played by Knoxville, and their kid, played by Calum Worthy. Now, on the original fictional sitcom, all the characters kind of did the right thing, and her idea is to make kind of a more edgier version where sometimes they do the wrong thing, especially since they're on streaming and they can get away with doing more. Now, the executives on the show like the idea, so they reassemble the cast and bring everyone together for the first time in 15 years. These characters all have different levels of dysfunction that they're dealing with. Some people have been working, some people haven't. And it brings up complicated twists and turns from their past from when they previously worked together. Now, a wrench is thrown into Hannah's creative process when she realizes she must work with the show's original creator, Gordon, played by Paul Reiser. They offer differing generational perspectives, and there's a bit of a clash over their ideas for the show. Now, one of the best bits that I really like is both Gordon and Hannah bring on a separate group of writers. Hannah has writers from a younger millennial and Gen Z generation, and Gordon brings on writers that are older. Their banter in the writer's room is so funny. There's so much humor about just the changing media landscape and different standards people have over things like discussing sexual topics in the workplace and how standards have changed over time. In particular, Rose Abdu plays Selma, who's kind of this wisecracking writer with a New York accent. Her part is so funny. I've seen her on Hacks, so it's great to see her really have a role where she gets to shine on here as well. And that meta humor that I mentioned, where it references the television world, the world of streaming, references itself, with Hulu, references the Walt Disney Company. These references are placed at just the right moments. I think they really could have gone overboard and overdone it, but I do think they do it in a way that doesn't feel overindulgent. And when it does come up, like a scene where they're reading an HR letter from the Walt Disney Company, it is super funny. Now, again, as I did mention earlier, I think the pilot episode left me thinking that the show had a certain charm to it, but it didn't necessarily make me want to sit down and binge other episodes. But again, I'm so glad that I did, because by the time you get to that 3rd episode, that's when, for me, things really clicked into place. You saw the introduction of some of the new supporting characters in the writer's room, and things were just magic. Now, I will say I do fear for this show just because there are so many different comedy series and things that you can watch at any given time on all of the streaming services. So I'm really hoping this show does not get overlooked. I highly recommend it. I think it is up there with some of the best comedy series we've seen over the past couple of decades, like 30 Rock or Community. I would love to see this get additional seasons. Once it got past the 8th and final episode of the first season, I was already thinking about the future and about different twists and turns they could take with these characters. So if you're interested in watching it, it is available on Hulu right now, the first 3 episodes. And again, the additional episodes will come out week by week after that. If you've watched it, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you agree with what I said? Disagree? Would love to hear what you think. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay up to date with all things streaming. I want to thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you all have a good one. Bye-bye.